the number one skill you need if you want to get hired by luxury clients in the interior design industry. Hi, I'm Jo Chrobak. I'm an architect, I'm an interior designer, and the mentor at the Interior Designers Business School here in London, where I help you to start an interior design business and get a foot in the interior design industry. Most designers think that luxury clients hire them for their style, but they don't. They hire you because of something different, and that's something that we call in the industry your interior finish. You might have heard the terms refined design, technical design, design execution, project detailing, drawn details, luxury level design, elevated interiors, and design that exudes luxury. So these are the interior finish. It's not your style, it's the level of finish. And this is what you're missing if you are somebody who can't attract those higher level clients. So the clients who see luxury and who want luxury. And the thing is these clients can see it. They've been accustomed to it. They've been looking at it for their whole lives. So I was somebody who had to be trained to see luxury, and that happened across a lot of years. It didn't come naturally. But now I realize all I needed to do as a designer was offer or have this skill that I now have as a designer that I didn't really have when I was at the beginning of my career. So I personally call this detailing. This is the skill that we need. It's the process of kind of refining and communicating the design detail. So for a lot of designers who only present furniture, for example, in a design scheme, that is going to be really hard to get a luxury client, because furniture alone doesn't complete the interior finish. So if you're somebody who only offers a sourcing a sourcing service as an interior designer, you're never going to get those higher end clients or those luxury clients, because furniture alone doesn't create that finish that they're looking for. It's a layer of all of these other things. And the skill you need to communicate that information is this skill of detailing. So it's basically how your design is built. But the type of design is also not just furniture. And I think that needs to come across. So for clients, it's the difference between a good design and an exceptional design. And for you, what a good design and exceptional design might be two very different things. But for the client, for a luxury client, it's that whole finish. It's not just the furniture, it's the whole look. So it's not just construction drawings. This is it's not just a drawing package, it's a package of information that you need to be able to communicate to. That includes things like specifications, schedules, drawings, and even information on how you implement certain bits and pieces with builders. So that kind of package of information isn't actually taught. In terms of, people learn how to draw, people learn how to do an FF&E schedule, but they don't actually know how to detail, how to communicate that high-end finish to the builders, to the client, and in a way that helps them see that you've got what it takes to create that high-level design. So what you need to know is how to design and present that those design elements, those finishes, that joinery, the lighting, the integration, the custom elements, all of those bits and pieces together. Most designers cannot do this because they're missing this one skill. They're missing the skill of being able to detail. And this is something that most people can't find how to do this, which is why I created a course on how to detail. So if you want to learn how to detail, have a look at our detailing course on our InterDesign mentorship, and it's all laid out for you, and anyone can detail, no matter whether you're a beginner designer, an intermediate designer, or an advanced designer. So it's the way I've designed it, and you'll see the examples I've used in that course are very, very simple, so that you can see that anyone can do it. So to finish up this video, all I want to say is the expectation of a luxury project. The clients, they don't want a mood board. You are never going to get a luxury client with just a mood board, okay? They want professionally presented information that gives them the clarity and the guarantee that end result, that high-end finished result. So without it, because without this kind of detailing or this knowledge of detailing or communicating in this, presentation package, your projects will go off specification. Because without that specification, how do people know what quality, what high-end finish, what what the details of your thought process are? You need to be able to communicate that professionally, and that is what I teach you. So things that also go wrong is builders do what they find is easier. So anyone who's actually worked on projects will know that a builder will always push back because they just want to do what's easier for them and what's cheaper for them so that they make a bigger profit, because they've usually priced the project poorly. But because of that, we're constantly fighting against what the builder wants to do and what you want to do for your client, or what your client wants. And this is why you need to be the person who has the proof of what it is that you need to communicate to your builder, so that they actually do what you're telling them to do. Because otherwise you're to blame, because there's no proof. Saying it with words doesn't mean anything. You need to actually have evidence that this is the specific finish, or else the builder will push back on it, or the builder, at least a good builder, will just price it higher, and then they'll just get away with ripping the client off. Thirdly, things will look cheap, because what you say and what someone else does needs evidence to communicate that high-end result clearly. So you need to have, in order things for them not to look cheap, you need to be in control, and you need to communicate that control. So also it means that you get blamed for, no matter, even if you said you should do this and the builder or the client does that, it doesn't matter. You still get blamed for the bad design, because it was your idea. And they forget little things. Projects they can span years. I actually had one of my first big projects. I remember the client came back to me, and I specifically remember the meeting we had where I said, do you want this or that? And they said, oh, we want that. And then right at the end of the project, when they gave me their feedback on the project, they were like, I wish we had done this instead of that. And I was like, but I asked you. Didn't matter. They forgot. But it was my fault. So you need to be the person that communicates all of these things to the highest level, because it's the finish. It's not the bits and pieces along the way, but the bits and pieces along the way are what you have control of. And then ultimately, the client doesn't come back. So if you want to know how to have this skill, if you want this skill to work with high-end luxury clients, have a look at our detailing course. You won't regret it.